Thank you, AIOSC and Dr. Sen and Dr. Shetty, Dr. Saurabh Sinha for giving me this opportunity. My talk is about distorted vision, and to tell first thing first, distorted vision and central patch are more or less similar looking symptoms, but they are different. When we are talking about distorted vision, we are talking that the uh, the vision is good, the patient is able to see well, but whatever he is seeing is distorted. So the objects are distorted, but the Snellen visual acuity is fine. So we have to make sure that what we are dealing with, is it really distorted vision or something else? So we'll have to ask leading questions, that are the straight lines which the patient is seeing are curved, or are the shapes, fixed shapes which are there are appearing irregular, a circle is appearing as something else. So this is actually what distorted vision should be. And there are similar symptoms which which patient can tell that he is having a distorted vision, and we have to make sure that we are dealing with the distorted vision symptoms, because the interpretation and the workup will be different for each thing. So if the patient says that he is seeing too hazy to see any straight line as a straight, or too dim to understand the shape of the object, then probably he is dealing with he is having a cataract. Similarly, very important symptom is missing letters while reading. Sometimes patients say that when they start reading a sentence from left to right, when they move to right, they are not able to see the letters which they just read, or they are missing part of a digit, like they are reading 8 as 3. This is exclusively seen in parafoveal telangiectasia, and it should be different. It should not be clubbed as distorted vision. It is very typical of parafoveal telangiectasia, which is a disease of the fovea, and has a lot of pigments. If we see on a 78 diopter lens, or even direct ophthalmoscopy can show black pigments on the around the fovea. So coming back to the distorted vision can be painless, which is the most common scenario, and it can be painful when the when sometimes there is subretinal fluid along with posterior scleritis. Then patient may simply complain of distorted vision with 6/6 Snellen's acuity and some pain on eye movements. Similarly, if the patient is a young, then he probably has some central serous chororetinopathy or choroidal neovasculopathy, or if the patient is an elderly, he or she may have CNVM or IPCV as causing distorted vision. What are the other signs which we need to keep in mind while we are assessing a patient with distorted vision? If there are anterior chamber reactions, the patient may have subretinal fluid along with because of the VKH syndrome, and the anterior chamber reactions are not that obvious or common, but in this scenario, the patient may have anterior chamber reaction also. If a patient with distorted vision has RAPD, then probably we are dealing with neurosensory detachment at macula, papillomacular bundle, fovea, along with some optic nerve pathology. So associated symptoms will tell us which way we should think and which investigations we should order. So what are the investigations? Indirect ophthalmoscopy, OCT, FFA, ICG, and all OCTA. So yes, it is important to do an indirect ophthalmoscopy in a patient who complains of distorted vision, because if a macula on RD is just bisecting the fovea, patient will still have 6/6 vision, N6 vision, and he will just see distortion of objects. So 6/6 vision with macula on RD can have distorted vision. That's why indirect ophthalmoscopy and detailed examination of the periphery is very important. In OCT, what should we look for in such a patient? We should look for subretinal fluid, we should look for CNVM, and we should also look for optic disc edema or optic disc pit maculopathy. When do we do fluorescein angiography? If we find subretinal fluid in a patient with distorted vision, we look for central serous chororetinopathy, choroidal neovasculopathy, pachychoroid neovasculopathy, IPCV, VKH, posterior scleritis, and optic disc pathologies can be looked at on FFA imaging in a patient of distorted vision. So we need to further next step is to find if the patient has CNVM, then we have to identify which pathology is causing CNVM. If in elderly, it will be neovascular AMD. If the patient is myopic, then it can be myopic or idiopathic CNVM or retinal dystrophies. We can also be there. When do we advise ICGA in these patients? If the patient has distorted vision with central serous chororetinopathy and he is an elderly, he is beyond 50 years of age, then we know that CSC is uncommon in this age group, and we need to do an ICGA to rule out pachychoroid spectrum or to rule out IPCV. Similarly, if the patient is having recurrent and chronic central serous retinopathy not responding to treatment for over years, then we probably may like to do an ICGA to rule out other things. And whenever we are suspecting IPCV, then we have to rule out that by doing an ICGA. So such a patient, when we have reached up to a stage where when we are suspecting IPCV, then when we need to know that in a patient with distorted vision, when we suspect CNVM and when we suspect an IPCV. So if a patient with distorted vision having something similar to something looking like a CNVM, and we still consider no, it cannot be may not be a CNVM, it may be some IPCV, then we need to look for these symptoms, these signs. These signs will be, there will be few or no drusen at all at the macula. The hemorrhages will be out of proportion of the size of CNV. The CNV is small, but the hemorrhages are huge and extensive. The hard exudates will also be again out of proportion of the size of the CNV, and there will be predominance of tall and peaked serous PEDs, which should tell us about thinking in the direction of IPCV. And obviously, on OCTs, there are many markers, but the most common, which every ophthalmologist should be acquainted with, is a double layer sign, which is hyper reflective, which it can lead us to think about IPCV. So this is how IPCV looks like clinically. As I said earlier, the left fundus photo shows that there is a large area of retinal elevation. There are plenty of hard exudates, retinal hemorrhages, but CNVA is not that obvious, and there is a small thing at the right of the fovea, but the hemorrhages and elevation is huge. The OCT shows here that there are undulating retinal pigment epithelium detachment along with hyperreflective deposits just beneath the RPE, which are suggestive of polyp. And ICG shows a large branching vascular network, which is straddling the fovea and extending to the temporal macula. So this is how we think when we find a patient with distortion of vision, and this is how we investigate. Obviously, the treatment will depend upon the cause and the actual cause of the disease, actual cause of the symptom, and ultimately we need to look for the small pointers in which direction we need to order. Thank you for the opportunity.